Hi everyone, Miss Fisher here. So this is the lesson on Old Major speech. It is page 19 and 20 in your packets. So you should have this out on your desk, be ready to follow along. What you're going to be doing is, I've already read this, so this shouldn't be new to you. But this is going to be a way for you to kind of check your work, make sure that what you were thinking is correct, and then you're going to be using this to write a rhetorical précis on these two pages here. So make sure that you're paying attention and following along, because the rhetorical précis will be due at the end of class today, just like the one that we did for the Chevy truck commercial. So, all right, so this is my screen here. We're going to go through, and I'm going to just kind of go through the steps that you should have had when you were doing your reading last night. So, as it says here, mark the text. You should have numbered each paragraph. There are 10 total. And then it asked you to chunk each of the paragraphs. And basically what the chunking was is that it asked you to chunk 7, 8, and 9. These three paragraphs right here, these three paragraphs are chunked together. So we'll be looking at them as one. So the number 3 says to underline Old Major's claims. And there's quite a few, but I'm going to pick out a few of the important ones that we want to make sure that we are doing, and I'm going to actually just highlight this highlight. So it says, now comrades, what is the nature of this life of ours? Let us face it, our lives are miserable, laborious, and short. And that is one that I highlighted because I thought that was, you should have underlined it, but I thought that was one of Old Major's major claims. Later on in that paragraph, it does say that no animal in England is free. The life of an animal is misery and slavery. This is the plain truth. I think that was one of Old Major's major claims as well. In the second paragraph, I highlighted, why then do we continue in this miserable condition? Because nearly the whole of the produce of our labor is stolen from us by human beings. Their comrades is the answer to all of our problems. It is summed up in a single word, man. This is definitely one of Old Major's major claims that he's making to the animals here. He says here, remove man from the scene, and the root cause of hunger and overwork is abolished forever. In the next paragraph, I underlined or highlighted this first sentence, man is the only creature that consumes without producing. And then he goes on throughout this whole thing, and he talks about how he makes the animals do all the work for him, and that he doesn't actually do anything, he just takes. So if you move on to paragraph 5, I underlined, what then must we do? Why, work night and day, body and soul, for the overthrow of the human race. That is my message to you, comrades, rebellion. That is definitely one of Major's big claims that he makes in his speech. He's telling them that the only way to solve the problems is through rebellion. Towards the bottom of paragraph 5, he also tells them to pass on this message of mine to all those who come after you, so that future generations shall carry on the struggle until it is victorious. In paragraph 6, I said, your resolution must never falter. I underlined that one as well because I thought that was an important thing that he discussed. I also underlined that never listen when they tell you that man and the animals have a common interest, that the prosperity of one is the prosperity of others. It is all lies. He is telling them to never trust humans because they only ever lie, and they only ever have their own common interest above others. I also underlined, and among us let there be perfect unity, comradeship in the struggle. All men are enemies, all animals are comrades. So I said this perfect unity is a big idea for him as well. In the last paragraph here, in paragraph 10, I underlined, whatever goes upon 2 legs is an enemy, whatever goes upon 4 legs or has wings is a friend. I also said, remember that also in the fighting we must not come to resemble him, right? Because he gives all this stuff about how we shouldn't, or how the animals shouldn't adopt human vices. And then my last thing I underlined is no animal must ever kill another animal. All animals are equal. I feel like that was another major claim that Old Major had in his speech. So then it asks us to circle emotionally charged words. And I'm going to highlight those in a different color. I'm going to highlight them in pink. And there are a lot of emotionally charged words in this speech. However, I'm going to highlight just a few of them. I thought that comrades in the first paragraph was an emotionally charged word because it shows camaraderie between the animals. You know, we're all brothers. He talks about cruelty, happiness, I thought was another word that was emotionally charged. Free, don't you think? Oh, wow. That was not what I meant to do. I don't know if it's gonna let me highlight over that word. Okay, well, I circled free, so go ahead and make sure that you have that word as well. Misery and slavery. I'm gonna underline it so I can highlight these. Misery and slavery and free. Down here I had circled stolen, so stolen was another word that I had circled as an emotionally charged word. I circled the word enemy, and then I went on to the next page. I circled horror in the fourth paragraph. I circled tyranny and evils in the fifth paragraph. I also circled rich and free. And I also circled the word rebellion, which, if I can get that to go away, there we go, because that's definitely an emotionally charged word. I also circled the word justice in the fifth paragraph. And then other words were over in paragraph 10. Oh, no, I'm sorry. At the top of paragraph, or at the top of page 31, paragraph 6, I underlined the word, or I circled the word unity. And I also circled the word duty down here in paragraph 10, because, you know, doing your duty, I think that was definitely an emotionally charged word. So if we go back up and we take a look at the next thing it tells us to do, and it says in the left margin you're going to say what is Old Major saying, and in the right margin what is Old Major doing. So I am going to go through and through each paragraph, and just on the left-hand margin I'm going to say what Old Major was saying, and the right-hand margin I'm going to say what Old Major was doing. So in the first paragraph, he is saying that their lives are difficult and they are not free, they are slaves. What he is doing then is that he is describing the inhumane way the animals are treated by humans, right? That's what he's doing in this first paragraph. In the second paragraph, he is saying that the sole problem is man. Without him, they would prosper. So that's what he's saying. What Old Major is doing is he is illustrating the possibilities of their farm if men were gone, right? That is what he's doing. So if we look at the next paragraph at paragraph 3, that's this paragraph here. What is he saying? Well, he is saying in paragraph 3 that man produces nothing. He only takes. What is he doing? He is emphasizing all the animals do for the farm and what man doesn't do. That's what he's doing in paragraph 3. Okay, so if we go on to paragraph 4, okay, in paragraph 4, he is saying that their lives are short due to Mr. Jones's cruelty. That's what he's saying, and what he's doing is he's explaining how Jones rids the farm of useless animals. Right? That's what he is saying. In paragraph 5, down here, he is saying that man is a tyrant and that rebellion is the only solution to their problems. What he is doing is he is foreshadowing the rebellion. And he's also suggesting that the animals pass on the idea of rebellion until they are free. And that's happening down here a little bit, right there, right? So in paragraph 6, he is saying that all men are liars. They only protect their own interests. They are enemies. What he is doing is he is demonizing man or humans, right? He's demonizing them. He's making them out to be evil things, which, you know, Mr. Jones is, but maybe not all men are, but that is not going to help forward his point. Rhetorically, that wouldn't make sense to say, well, some humans are nice. No, he's going to demonize them all. He's going to say they're all bad. So if you look up at paragraph 7, 8, and 9, what he is saying is that wild animals are their friends, and what he is doing is he is establishing that all animals, wild or not, are friends. And then in the last paragraph, what he is saying is that animals must never adopt human ways, and what he is doing is that he's listing man's vices, right? He's saying wearing clothes, drinking alcohol, smoking tobacco, etc. And he's also asserting that all animals are equal. Okay, so that is the close read of our Old Major speech. Please listen to the sub. She's going to describe to you how to go about finishing up the rhetorical précis and handing that in by the end of class for a grade. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay. How long was that?
15 minutes.
Shit.
Why?
And that's just longer than I thought it was going to be. How do I do this? Okay.
How come if I pay my credit card bill every single month, how come it keeps
Do you have, how much credit do you have?
Just like 6 months.
No, how much credit do you have?
500.
How much of it do you have on your credit card?
200.
You're only supposed to use 10% of your credit limit. So it could be that you have too much credit. Like, I literally have $20 left on each of my, like, I've maxed out my credit cards, both my credit cards, and that's like $4,000 of credit card debt. So my credit just kind of stays the same. It doesn't get better. I pay on time, and I always pay more than the minimum. Do you pay more than the minimum? I always pay more than minimum, but I can never up until those are paid off, because I'm using like 100% of my credit limit.